When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is Devoid of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post regularly on my community tab. If you want access to my content early, check out my Discord. Before we begin, I want to give you guys a little update on what I'm doing. Plus, not including my fanfictions. I also decided to do a playthrough or whatever of Fallout New Vegas as a gunslinger build. Check it out if you haven't checked it out already. If you're interested in Fallout stuff, and there you go. I will be making a playlist in the future. I'll probably record another session, continuing with my playthrough of Fallout New Vegas later today at some point. I'm not really sure, but anyways. Now let's get right into this. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. It seems like we're going to Tatooine. If we must. Scarlet has no love for that planet, all that sand, and the hostile sand people. She tries to avoid the planet as much as possible, but their target is on the planet, so avoiding the planet is not going to happen. We should probably buy some supplies. We're going to need it if we're heading to Tatooine. If I remember right, Master, Tatooine is a sand world. You are correct, acolyte. Much like this planet, Tatooine is controlled by the Heart Cartel. We're not too far away from Tatooine. Alright, what do we need first, Master? We need medical supplies. It would be wise to buy some sort of water container. Elijah and Scarlet went to a couple shops once they left the Undercity and getting all the necessary preparations from the shops from the Upper City. Once all of their supplies were purchased, they made their way back to the dock where Oblivion is docked. It didn't take them long to get to her ship, well, Scarlet's ship, and begin preparation to take off. Once they got to the bridge, Elijah begins to help Scarlet get the ship ready to take off. Master, how you talked about Tatooine, it almost sounds like you've been there before, Master. I've been there a couple times on missions. I very dislike the sand and all the different types of predators is on that planet. That's not including the locals and the gangs scattered all around the planet. And don't get me started on the sand people. I've heard you mention that phrase before, sand people. What is a sand people? What exactly is that? Sand people are several tribes scattered all around the desert of Tatooine. They're very protective of their territory. They're nomads, violent nomads. I suggest you kill them on sight. If any of the sand people approach, I'll keep that in mind, Master. It looks like everything's ready on my end. Same here, Acolyte. Strap in. We're about to take off. Immediately, Scarlet pilot the ship off the ground and begin to hover in the air until they were far enough away from the dock and blast off, breaking through the planet's atmosphere into outer space. Is there something else you need, Master? Not at the moment. I'll be in a lodge area of the ship. I need to clean my practice saber. I was a bit surprised by that comment. A bit surprised. You clean and maintain your practice saber? Of course I do. It's my weapon. It's my responsibility to keep it functional and keep it maintained. By your comment, it seems like you find it odd. Very odd, Acolyte. Acolytes don't normally care about their weapons or maintaining them, especially their practice sabers. Nor do many Sith, if I am to be honest. Of course, you happen to be a member of the Rosefield, so that's not too surprising. Your entire family are renowned for being warriors. And what I know of the Rosefields, they're very keen on keeping their weapons well maintained. Has the head of your family told you about your family history? I know some of it, but not everything. Not that I haven't been told, I just haven't had the time. If I remember right, my family was one of the founder members that helped in the construction of the Empire. That they did. I'll come find you if I need anything else. You're free to do what you want. I'll let you know when we're getting close. Understood, Master. Elijah got up and turned around to leave the bridge and go to the lobby area and sat down on one of the couches. In front of him is a metal table. As he placed his practice saber on the metal table and began to disassemble it. As he starts to clean every piece of the hilt of the practice saber, Elijah could easily use the force to do it, but he prefers to do it by hand. He likes to disassemble and reassemble things using his own two hands. He has cleaned his practice saber on several occasions, so he knows what he's doing. He knows how to disassemble it and reassemble it. After he wiped and cleaned every single piece of his hilt, he reassembled it. Once he reassembled it, he clicked the device on the hilt and activated the practice saber. As the black blade ignited from the tip of the hilt, releasing a slight hum, Elijah got up and did a couple swings. After calibrating the practice saber, he begins to swing it around again. He proceeds to repeat the process of calibrating and giving a couple swings. When he was finally pleased with his weapon and is working better than ever, the practice saber will last a little bit longer against a lightsaber. He did not figure a way to fix the drawbacks, but the blade should last longer before it disperses, fighting against the actual lightsaber. The blade is at maximum capacity. There's not much he could upgrade without overheating the vital components inside the hilt. After that was done, he put his weapon on his hip of his belt and proceed to find a quiet place on the ship that has a lot of room. As he found such a place in a small cargo hold that the ship has, and begin to meditate in the middle of the metal floor, he might still be on a test from his torture class, but that doesn't mean he won't train while in the meantime. Elijah begins to train himself, channeling the Force faster, making his techniques faster and stronger. Elijah is clearly not satisfied with his current level in channeling the Force. He sees many improvements that could be made. He's not satisfied at his current level. He won't be stagnated. He won't stagnate himself and become complacent. Several hours later, Elijah was broken out of his meditation by the sound of Scarlet's voice over the intercom. "Acolyte, you should get to the ship, or the bridge. We should be arriving soon." Elijah got up from the middle of the floor and walked out of the cargo hold and began to make his way towards the bridge. Once he arrived, he sat down on one of the seats. Good timing. We're approaching Tatooine now. Strap in. Tatooine is not known for their docking stations. We don't have a Pacific landing destination. Copy that. As Elijah strapped in into his seat, as they begin to approach the Tatooine, eventually breaking through the planet's atmosphere, landing a little bit away from one of the bigger cities that's on Tatooine. As they land, the only spot that's surrounded by sand and rock formations. Alright, make sure you have all your supplies and water canister and your portable medical supplies. I have everything on me, Master. Good. Time to get this over with. Like the last time, it's up to you how you track him down. According to the data pad, he should be here on Tatooine. I know what he looks like, so it shouldn't be too difficult to track him down. I'll start at the cantinas in the cities that's scattered all around this planet. Lead the way, Acolyte. Once the ship was under lockdown, Elijah exited Oblivion. Scarlet was right beside him. As they make their way towards the city, that's not too far away from their current location, Elijah saw two incoming hover bikes. "We're going mobile, Master." As Elijah has a slight grin on his face, as he stepped in the middle of the pathway of the two hover bikes coming his way. He stopped the hover bikes, lifted them up in the middle of the air, while force choking the two riders, snapping their neck, and force pushing their dead bodies to different locations. As he slowly descended the two hover bikes in front of him and his master. "You're quite good at that." I did spend extremely amount of time practicing my force abilities. As Elijah got up onto the hoverbike, luckily for him, he was tall enough where he could reach the necessary pedals. They both twist the handles of the hoverbike as the hoverbike accelerated in the direction towards the city. Once they arrived in the city, it was midday. The first move Elijah did was to find a place, or purchase a place, to make a home base. After talking to a few people, he located a man that was selling a small compound just outside the city limits. Elijah gestured Scarlet to follow. After traveling through the other side of the city, they see a pathway outside the city limits towards a small compound that has walls surrounding the entire compound. Once they step through the solid metal gates, They arrived inside the compound with a singular large building. The building itself looked more advanced than what's currently on this world. Nice find. It's fortified with long metal walls surrounding the compound, and the building itself looks pretty high-tech. You definitely got yourself a nice little base of operations here. Yes, I figured it would be necessary moving forward, and it's always nice to have a safe house that can be used as a temporary home base of operation. True, and most people would try to avoid this world as much as possible. That's what I figured. That would be the perfect place to establish a home base. Look at you already, forming a beginning of a power base. So what's the plan? Think I'm going to wait here until nightfall, then I'll head to one of the canteens to gather some information. Adults do loosen their lips when they're intoxicated. It didn't take long for night to fall as Elijah proceeds to leave his compound. Elijah will definitely need to invest in some kind of security bots or droids and combat droids for his compound for added security. But he has to put that on hold for now. He has a Twi'lek to hunt down. Once they got to the local canteen, Elijah used the Force ability that he's been using since the beginning, since he's been able to use the Force, using the dark side to cloak himself, making him completely invisible. As Elijah entered the canteen to see all the drunk humans and aliens having a good time, Elijah and Scarlet took a seat at a booth to the side and sat down and listened to all the different conversations. It only took 2 hours for someone to mention Zelik. Elijah and Scarlet overheard them talking about a blue-skinned Twi'lek that goes by Zelik, hiring a bunch of extra help, venturing into the vast deserts of Tatooine for some reason. Elijah and Scarlet quietly left the canteen. Once they exit the canteen, they begin to walk back to the compound. That makes things difficult, tracking him down. He could be anywhere. But at least I know he's been in the city, even though we've only missed him by a couple of days. I'm most curious is why he ventured into the desert. There shouldn't be anything out there. Crow did mention that he's been hunting down Sith artifacts. Maybe Zelik's here for more than just laying low. Are you implying that there's some sort of Sith artifact here? There might be. Or there might be ruins mentioning Sith artifacts. Of course, this is only speculation on my part. But even if it's speculation, it does have some merit. I always found it odd. Parts of this planet has a deep connection with the dark side. You feel it, don't you? The presence of the dark side. It's faint, but it's there. I notice it as well. I can sense all the anger, agony, pain, suffering. It might be to a lesser degree compared to the other planet we were on. What's your next move, acolyte? Nothing for tonight. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go and try to follow his trail using the Force. Once they got back to the compound, they picked a room and slept for the night. The next morning, Elijah began the search by going into the vast deserts of Tatooine. Their trail most definitely has gone cold by now, but luckily for Elijah, He knows how to track down someone using the Force, even though there's physical tracks could be noticed. As Elijah did so, begin to search for light signatures through the Force into large pulse over large areas. When Zealot gets close, Elijah will know about it. Scarlet only observed Elijah ways of using the Force to track down his target. She's never seen a Force used in such a manner. Yes, there's several Force abilities that can easily track down opponents using the dark side of the Force. But what she's seen is something new she's never thought about. Using the Force in that matter to guide his path. Scarlet knows Zealot can't hide for long from Elijah. She could tell the boy is quite stubborn and persistent. After a few hours of travel, Scarlet noticed the signs of a sandstorm coming their way. We should probably seek shelter as soon as possible. A sandstorm is coming our way. I could tell by the wind and the clouds. I can't tell how big it's going to get, but it would be wise if we seek shelter sooner or later. Sooner than later. Copy that. As they eventually found a cave to seek shelter in, Elijah begins to scan around the cave. It's not a very large cave, but it's large enough for two people. Elijah noticed several wooden crates. On top of one of these crates is a data pad detailing Zealot's personal log. As Zealot begins to read, Elijah begins to read Zealot's data pad that he left, either out of forgetfulness or he had to leave the area fast and just forgot about it. Zealot Log 1. I just arrived at this desolated world, but according to the information I got, a Sith artifact is definitely on this world. I need to find this artifact. I need to find it fast. It's only a matter of time before the Empire catch wind on several Sith artifacts being collected and sent off to the Jedi to be cataloged or destroyed. And the female Jedi that I've been helping, I won't describe my personal relationship on this datapad. I don't know why she would want a Sith artifact. I might be naive when it comes to the Force, but it almost seems like she's searching for something specific. If I know her, and I know her very well, she's definitely searching for something. To what end, I'm unsure. According to what I know about Jedi, Jedis don't go searching for Sith artifacts, normally. Elijah shut the datapad off. It looks like we're on the right track. Elijah begins to break some of the wooden crates to start a fire. Elijah hands over the datapad to Scarlet. Scarlet begins to read for a few minutes. After a few minutes later, she shut off the datapad off. You're definitely right. This is a personal journal. There might be more if we keep on his trail. I would have to agree. There's something fishy about this. Do Jedi often seek Sith artifacts? Nothing that I can recall. If they did, they would most likely want to destroy it. Be careful moving forward. Things might get complicated. That's an understatement, Master. When Jedi are involved, things always get complicated. That they did. As a sandstorm begins to rage on in the background while they're having their discussion. If there is a Jedi, let me handle it. You're not ready for that type of fight. You're nowhere ready to fight a seasoned Jedi or even a Jedi Knight. And you have no chance against a Jedi Master. Only reason you managed to come up on top the last time you crossed paths with a Jedi was because he was a greenhorn. He was new to the role. Oh, darn it. Give me a second, guys. As much as I hate to admit it, you are correct. That's why I've been training so much. I have been trying to prepare myself for another encounter with another Jedi, but I'm nowhere near strong enough currently. If there's a Jedi Knight or above, I'll let you handle it. Good. With your current skill level, you should be able to handle any normal Jedi. A few hours later, the sandstorm finally proceed to die down, almost stopping, as they begin to break up camp and smothering the fire as they continue to search. As unique as that force ability you've been using is, it's very inefficient for this specific situation. That technique would be best used for places you know where they're at. If someone was hiding in a forest. As an example, acolyte. I would have to agree. If he's after a Sith artifact, I just need to follow the large amount of dark side energy through the Force. One of them is about to lead us to my target. Elijah proceeds to do that same thing as he reaches out towards the dark side to sense any pocket of dark side energy that's scattered all around the desert. Elijah noticed a large signature of dark side energy straight ahead as he proceeded to follow the trail to the large presence of the dark side. The closer they got to the source of the presence of the larger amount of dark side energy, a pyramid, a black pyramid, could be seen in the distance. Elijah noticed several sand people that's been tracking them, keeping their distance. Are those what you call sand people, Master? That they are. They've been showing us for quite some time. Why haven't they attacked? Because they're terrified. Don't you feel the fear from them? Yes, I do, but why? Sand people are very superstitious people. Areas such as this are considered to be a little bit of taboo in their culture. I see. The closer they got to the large presence of the dark side energy, closer they got to the pyramid, as the pyramid seemed to increase in size from the distance as they got closer. Elijah found it strange when he arrived. There was nothing in the area besides this humongous black pyramid, and the fact that they had to walk through a active sandstorm surrounding the entire pyramid. Elijah knows this is nowhere normal weather patterns, even for this planet. No sandstorms on Tatooine could continuously to be active like this around a specific object without something else being involved. I could sense your feelings, Acolyte. You are correct. This sandstorm surrounding this ancient Sith pyramid is not natural. It's not some normal sandstorm surrounding this pyramid. Most likely it's intentional to keep this place hidden from the locals from being discovered. That's only the logical conclusion I could come up with, Master. Once they cut through the sandstorm, they finally arrive. See different crates near the entrance of the pyramid. Elijah and Scarlet had to hide behind one of the large crates as they saw two light Sith exit out of the pyramid carrying corpses of dead locals and threw them to the side. Who are they? I don't recognize anything about them. I've never seen Sith wearing those sort of masks. Light Sith. I wasn't expecting them to be involved in this. Like I said, Jedi always make things complicated. Elijah didn't wait long to react. He began to move from cover to cover. Every large crate got him closer and closer until he was almost in striking distance. Then he immediately left his cover behind the large crate and activated his practice saber, igniting the black blade as he charged and slashed one of the light Sith. But the light Sith wasn't fast enough as Elijah cut him down right through, killing him instantly as Elijah instantly blocked a strike from the other light Sith as they engage in a lock, as both blades begin to grind against each other, making sparks. Suddenly, while he was in deadlock with his opponent, he started to get flashes of images of him using a force ability that he knows that he doesn't know. He found it complex in watching himself using a dark force ability that he's never used before. When the flash of new information stopped, he force pushed his opponent away as he extended his hand outward towards the light Sith, as Elijah felt like the dark side itself was guiding his movements, as Elijah used for the very first time a force technique called force kill, using the force itself to target organs with the force itself, as the light Sith was beginning to lift up in the middle of the air. With the new information, with this new technique, that's what he did. He used it. The moment Elijah closed his hands into a fist, the light Sith heart exploded as blood begins to drip from his eyes, nose, and mouth under his mask, and fell to the ground dead. Scarlet was surprised. The reason why she was surprised, because Elijah was surprised. She had no idea he could use that force ability, nor did Elijah, it seems. But that's another matter for another time. Not a very easy technique to use, especially use it on your first try successfully. She could tell it took a lot out of Elijah. Elijah couldn't ponder on what he just did. He had to push forward as he entered the black pyramid. The moment Elijah entered the pyramid, he was immediately attacked by more light Sith at the same time, as Elijah blocked the initial attack from the 3 lightsabers coming from the 3 light Sith traders. As the 3 red lightsabers begin to grind against Elijah's black bladed lightsaber, in turn making sparks as they begin to grind their weapons against each other. Elijah broke the blade power struggle as he used a force crush on one of the light Sith legs, completely crushing the bones in that part of the leg, forcing him to kneel down on one knee as his head was chopped off by Elijah, chopping his head off without no hesitation. The 3 soon became 2 as Elijah rushed forward, swinging his blade. Elijah force pushed one of the light Sith away so he could slowly concentrate on this one first before the light Sith could do anything. The hand he held his lightsaber in was suddenly crushed with the Force with a Force crush, crushing his hand and lightsaber at the same time. As he was sent flying backwards from the lightsaber, created a slight explosion, sending Elijah's opponent into a wall. Elijah yanked his opponent from the wall by using a force pull, then immediately sent him up in the middle of the air and slammed him right back down to the ground, onto the ground using the force. Elijah proceeded to force crush every non-injured limb on his opponent. This sort of brutality, she wasn't expecting this from Elijah. She knows the boy is quite skilled in battle, calculated, never outright cruel like this, or brutal. She never knew he had such brutality locked away. Elijah extended his hand outward towards his opponent in a claw pose, like he's holding on to an like an invisible object. Palm of his hand, and when he closed his fist, the light-sized head was crushed by a powerful force crush, as blood and brain matter spray all around the area that Elijah's in. But surprisingly, no blood stain was on him, nor his clothes. Without even looking, he blocked a lightsaber swung that came from the last remaining light Sith that attacked him. Easily blocked his attempt. But Elijah did not give his opponent any time to relax. He easily capitalized by disarming his opponent by chopping off his hand. Then when his opponent was distracted with the pain from losing both of his hands, Elijah chopped the man head off, killing him instantly as Elijah walked past his fallen dead opponent. Corpse now, as he continued on his way, going further into the pyramid. While Elijah was walking further into the pyramid, Elijah's green and blue spiral eyes turned yellow, then the bright yellow color turned into a crimson red for a brief second, as his eyes returned back to his normal spiral color between green and blue. And that's where we're going to stop it. I'll catch you guys in the next part.